Girls, what was the most obvious hint you drawn? And the guy just didn't get it. Before we begin with the first story, please hit the subscribe and ring the notification bell to stay updated with us. Number 25. We were playing life and he was the police officer. The rule is, if you spin a 10, he gets your speeding fines. I literally pulled open my button down and exposed my breasts, and said, "What can I do to get out of paying this?" He said, "Ma'am, I'm an officer of the law. Are you trying to prostitute yourself to me?" A couple days of flirting and innuendo later, I literally had to spell out that I was trying to f him. We've been together 6 years now. Yo, that dude is serious about his role-playing. Number 24. My buddy in college was stressing over when to make the move to kiss a girl he liked. Well, we encouraged him to not wait for the perfect moment and just go for it. He admitted he should have tried to kiss her when they were in the shower. Number 23. We were discussing costumes and I sent a picture of me in my bunny suit and said I'd need help out of it. His response was telling me he hoped my roommate was home or that would suck. I had to tell him I was implying I'd like him to take it off me, and it took him a minute to catch up. Edit. For those of you concerned, it was very much a suggestive picture. I'm not sure it could have been perceived as just friendly, and no, you will be getting proof of said picture for those in my DMs lol. I was very much ready to get in with the bat of bluntness because we get along great, and he'd seemed flirty with me before. Number 22. I once was modeling clothes I planned to take on vacation for my boyfriend. After showing off a couple of outfits, I told him to close his eyes and change into wingery. He opened his eyes and I asked him what he thought. His jaw dropped and he said, "You can't wear that outside." I put my clothes back on. Number 21. Guy here. A girl took my hat off, started running her fingers through my hair, and asked what did I do to get it so smooth. I proceeded to tell her all about the new shampoo I had switched to a month before until she cut me off. Well, don't leave us hanging, man. What's the shampoo? Number 20. When I was about 35, I lived in a beach town near a university. My neighbors were all college kids. Next door was 2 college girls. One was always flirting with me. One at summer date, she turned up at my door in nothing but a long t-shirt. She asked if she could hang out in the /seat. I said sure, and she came over to the sofa I was sitting long ways on, and lay with her back to my chest, and asked if we could snuggle. I was okay with that. She then asked me to rub her belly, which I did. As you can imagine, after about an hour, I was getting a little worked up and touched her breast. While rubbing her belly, she jumped up and stormed out. I was like, well, yeah. She later said she didn't see me like that. I asked her why she'd show up almost naked, lay between my legs like couples do, and asked me to rub her belly, and then get pissed when I try to progress things. She said she looked at me like a big brother. I was like, what the F is your family like? Number 19. When my boyfriend and I had just started dating, we were lying down watching a movie, but this was a small bed and he was being respectful and giving me space. I kept whittling backward so I could get closer to him, and he kept pinching backward too, since he thought I was just trying to get comfortable, and he was in the way. He ended up sitting in a chair next to the bed. 3 years later, we were still together, and I still think it's pretty funny. He told me that when he was in the chair, he purposefully left his hand next to me in case I wanted to hold it, but actually I missed that sign too. He didn't get out of the bed because he was uncomfortable. He truly thought he was taking up too much space, and didn't realize I was trying to cuddle. Number 18. I'm a guy, but I have a story. A couple of years ago, a cute girl at the cash register in a local supermarket, where I was a regular customer at every night, said to me in a clearly flirty way, with a big smile, "Oh, I thought you were not coming today. I'm so happy to see you." Her face was shining when she said this, but the dumbass I didn't realize this, and my response was, "But why?" As I said this, her face went red and I could hear the glass shatter sound echoing in her. I have other stories too, because usually I get the hints 5 years after they happened. Number 17. I'm a guy, but I once had an experience where I took the hint, but still got rejected. A girl had asked me if I lost my virginity yet. We were in high school. When I said I hadn't, she said that I could practice on her whatever I wanted. Mind you, we walking home after school because we lived close. I tried to act on this hint when we got to her house, and she said she was only joking and didn't want it to be weird with us as friends. Number 16. I'm a guy, but one time I was hanging with a longtime friend of mine who I used to have a crush on, and who knew that I had a crush on her, and had rejected me numerous times over 7 to 8 years in her dorm. We decided that we were both tired, but her other bed was occupied by our other friend, so I was gonna lay down on the floor. She was like, "There's room in my bed for you any time." So I hopped in bed with her, thinking nothing of it. The next few minutes were kind of a blur, but eventually, we were literally hugging with her leg wrapped around me, and she looked me in the eyes, bit her lip, and said she was horny. I never made a move beyond that, since she had spent the past almost decade of my life rejecting my advances. Number 15. This guy I was dating decided to read to me a letter his father wrote to him that had advice on dating. My date was an excellent gentleman with a whole lot of things going for him. Unfortunately, hygiene wasn't one of them. Anyway, he came to a part of the letter where his father had listed different reasons why it is so important to have good hygiene. I packed up then with a, "Oh yes, I love that piece of advice. Your dad is really smart." He never took the hint. When I later broke up with him, I never told him, but hygiene was one of the reasons. I really hope he's doing okay out there. I had to have figured it out, or found someone with a stronger stomach. Edit. Yes, I should have told him directly. I was younger and dumber then, and didn't want to hurt his feelings. I know better now. Thanks for all the advice. Number 14. This was some years ago. I was 22, had been talking to this guy for a while, and was ready to lose my virginity. I was a college student living at home, but my mom and stepdad were on vacation celebrating their anniversary, and I figured this would be the perfect time to make my move. He and I already had a date schedule, so before we went, I cleaned my room and the entire house from top to bottom, created a chill playlist on my computer to listen to, shaved/waxed every necessary inch of my body from the forehead down, put on sexy underwear, and waited for him to pick me up. We went at the movies, and when he dropped me off at home, I invited him in with the added context and in a leading flirty tone of voice that we would be all alone and had all the time in the world to do whatever he wanted. He said, "That's all right. I'm sure you want to enjoy this time you get without your parents to be alone." He was sure he was wrong. I just stared at him for like 10 solid seconds in silence before I nodded, said, "Yeah, that's true," and got out of the car. The walk from my driveway to the front door was a real walk of shame, and I hadn't even gotten any good sex out of it. After that, I sat in my very clean house in my sexy underwear, eating pizza, and wondering how it could have gone differently. It was my first time trying to seduce a guy into and it failed miserably. I laughed about it though, and I still laugh about it now. I just figured it wasn't in the cards for me yet. Ended up losing my virginity a few more years later as a guy I'm permanently engaged to, so it worked out wonderfully. He's pretty good at picking up when I'm throwing down. Wall. Number 13. I'm a guy, but I can share my density as the guy who missed the hints. I went to a store where there was a girl I liked in college. We used to small talk while I'd browse and never bought anything, pretty a poor college student. This time I came to the store, and she said hi, and we chatted a bit while I shot. She complained, "I'm going to be home alone tonight. My family is out of town." I replied, "Well, that's too bad." She says, "I'm off at 5 today. It was 4 at the time. What are you up to tonight?" "I'm up for anything." "Well, nothing. Just sitting at home and watching a movie." My brain must have completely self-destructed because the conversation ended there. I never saw her again after that. She either quit or was avoiding me. I must have been in a daze from school to miss that cue. Number 12. My fiancée thinks leaving my bedroom door open when she spent the night, when we were just friends, and she lived out of town, and there was absolutely no reason for me to think anything romantic was going on, was obvious. I got up and closed the door because the AC was on and was low-key miffed. Edit. We were friends for a long time before we got together, and she had a meeting early in the morning, so I gave her my bed and slept on the couch. She left the door open thinking I would take the hint. Number 11. I used to be oblivious, probably so am. There was a girl at a local grocery store who was flirting with me, but of course, I didn't get it. After quite a bit of this, I left town for a few months, and were corresponding via email. I can't remember why, but I was asking her a string of silly questions like, "Why is the sky blue?" "Chicken with the egg first." "Where do babies come from?" etc. She answered them all, saving "where do babies come from" for last, and answered it with, "They'll when you get back, and I'm going to show you." I got that one. Number 10. We were playing Don't Drink and Drive on Mario Kart. Just the two of us. I was trashing him, so gave him a chance by lying sideways across his lap for the entire race. He didn't take the hint. We started dating 2 weeks after that. Number 9. I asked a guy at a festival to come take a shower with me. He didn't get it. He just repeated there was only one free shower. I was like, well, they are big, I'm sure it's fine, and he just looked confused and told me I could go first. We became close friends since that happened about 2 years ago, and this summer I spoke to him about it, and he really had no idea. He did the biggest facepalm I've ever seen. Number 8. Straight up told him I like him. I think his response was something like, but I'm kinda trash or something self-deprecating. He's friends with my best friend, and she confirmed that his depression is so bad that it takes a lot before he actually accepts any sort of positive attention. I think to some degree it's mutual. Hard to tell as I, too, am oblivious when guys drop hints. What happened after? We still talk nearly daily. No forward motion on the I like you front, but I'm gonna be there for him, whether we're friends or something else. There are definitely some forky tendencies, I suppose. Some solid points out there about the lack of compliments toward men. Everyone needs to be complimented here and there, whether it's about looks or talent or even just a nice shirt. Accepting them is hard as hell, though. Number 7. Invited him over to watch a movie, eventually laying my legs across his lap in hard flirting, but after 4 movies I had to finally make the move. Edit for clarification. We'd been flirting via text, exchanging etc. I had previously told him to his face that I liked him, and I was giving him the green light to make any move. Still nothing after a month of dating. I seem to always take the lead on things and I like assertiveness, but I wanted to give him the opportunity to feel like he could be in control, that it was okay. I was very direct many times, we had several discussions about it. Still nothing. Even after I finally made the move I had to literally say, I want to have sex with you. Number 6. A girl came to my house once and spent the night. Around the time for bed, she told me she doesn't sleep with a top on her panties. I told her, that's okay and I'll sleep on the couch so she can be comfy. She called me from downstairs later that night and told me she couldn't sleep and she was cold. I figured, well, obviously, you're naked. So I gave her another blanket and went back downstairs. Number 5. Unsure if Emily, from 15 years ago, saw this thread, she'd say, invited this guy to my place after our date. Got him into my room, into my bed. He was just lying there, so I told him my back was feeling sore and asked him if he could give me a massage. His reply, oh, I don't want to crush you with my weight. He is around 170 pounds. Gave up and went to sleep. Truth is, I did get the hint. But at the time, I was a virgin, and I was convinced I had an STD. Yeah, big combo. Turns out, I didn't have an STD. Number 4. Literally said, I want to be yours, and the dude just kept smiling and went on and on random spaced acts. That one hurt a bit. Fair enough, I just wanted to learn about space. Number 3. A guy I'm currently seeing invited me camping earlier this month. We were cuddling, and I noted how nice the showers are in the bathroom at the provincial park. I said, they're really warm and lots of space for 2 people. I tried to hit for him to join me for a sexy time. This man, without missing a beat, says actually he'd been fit like 10 people in those showers. We laughed about it really hard the next weekend, and he said, I knew what you were getting at, but my brain just wanted to answer it logically. Number 2. I had a girl invite me around her house once just to show me her posters. They were all of Harley-Davidson motorbikes, and she said she'd never ridden a Harley before. Awkward silence, and after a few other short bits of small talk, I decided to be on my way. 2 years later, I'm sitting on the bus and realize what she meant. Harley. Ridden a Harley. My name is Harley. Number 1. I went out of my way to come in early and talk to this guy every day for like a month before someone else told him I was into him. I also repeatedly told him I liked him. He thought I was just being nice. And that's all the 25 best stories. If you love more of this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. You can also share your similar experience with us in the comment below. I'll see you in the next video.